So, in this session we are going to discuss about the chemical reaction equilibrium. That means the equilibrium constant, the pertinent equilibrium constant of a reacting system, how it is dependent on temperature that we are going to solve, and if the temperature is given, then based on this equilibrium constant, how we can solve for this equilibrium product distribution of the reaction. But note that thermodynamics, as I mentioned in the beginning class of this specific subject, that it unable to predict the rate. Reaction kinetics, that's why it's a different subject, right? And that we are going to discuss maybe sometimes later. So, where these rate equations, which are mostly empiricals, are generated and they are validated with respect to different data and different batch experimental data, and how these rate equations are being used for continuous reactor design. So, that is a different part of this subject, but here in thermodynamics, for today's class, this session, we specifically focus on equilibrium properties of a reaction. Now, before we go into this thermodynamic analysis, let us have some basic understanding, though I have a bit covered it in this calculation regarding standard heat of reaction, but again I am revisiting that same topic, that in chemical reaction equilibrium, so as we are trying to discuss this reaction, so first question, how to represent a chemical reaction. So, as we all know, and we have also discussed, that the standard style will be like this, right, where nu I is the stoichiometric coefficient of a balanced chemical reaction, and AI is the respective chemical formula. Right. So, that is the way by which we represent an equation, like CH4 plus H2O giving CO plus these 3H2. This reaction, you see the products are CO and hydrogen. So, you can write this as CO plus 3H2 minus CH4 minus H2O. So, nu CO is 1, nu H2 is 3, nu CH4 is minus 1, and nu H2O is also minus 1. So, what we know, that stoichiometric coefficient, if I write the chemical reaction in this style, then nu is positive, or nu I is positive for products and negative for reactants. Right. Now, you see in a chemical reaction, when it proceeds, so definitely here we are not discussing the in toto or quote unquote the thermodynamics, we want to represent how this number of moles of different reactant and product that changes during the course of the reaction, right. Now, you see here, if 1 mole of CH4 is consumed, then 1 mole of H2O will also be consumed, then 1 mole of CO2 will be generated, CO will be generated, and 3 moles of H2 will be generated. So, you see, if I divide the amount change of individual components participating in a reaction. It may be reactant or product. Amount change means delta quantity, that is a delta of n, right. So, delta of n, which is final minus initial. So, we may write that delta or delta Ni, which is Ni final or Ni may not be final, Ni minus Ni naught. So, initial, this is initial number of moles, right. So, for this reaction, if I divide this delta Ni by respective nu I, it must be a constant quantity. That what I am trying to say, that delta Ni divided by nu I is, or not constant, I am wrong, that it is not constant, it is same for all I, right. Like just here, if I divide the delta NCO divided by 1 or minus 1, delta NH2, sorry, delta NCO by 1, delta NH2 by 3, delta NCH4 by minus 1 and delta NH2O again by minus 1, they are all identical, right. So, in a reacting system, dN1 by nu 1, dN2 by nu 2, dNi by nu I, they are all same, right, all identical, because you note that the change of this number of moles for product, it will be positive, the stoichiometric coefficient is also positive, whereas delta n is negative for a reactant, the stoichiometric coefficients are also negative. So, we represent this quantity as a universal quantifier to, or universal quantifier that actually indicates the progress of the reaction, right. And this we refer as reaction coordinate, differential change of the reaction coordinate. This epsilon is reaction coordinate. We can universally mark the progress of the reaction in terms of epsilon, right, and it is independent of the species, okay. Because we could have written it in terms of N1 or N2 or N3 or Ni, but that is they are dependent on species. But once we divide this change by the respective stoichiometric coefficient, we will get a quantity, delta of epsilon, where epsilon is a universal reaction coordinate independent of the species. So, we have dNi is equal to nu I into d epsilon. Now, if I integrate from 0 to epsilon, right. So, after epsilon, let it be Ni. So, here it is Ni 0 initially. So, this is nu I into epsilon. So, Ni is equal to Ni 0 plus nu I into epsilon. That is the number of moles of a species expressed in terms of reaction coordinate. Now, the total number of moles and total number of initial moles, if I take a summation, summing over all species. So, what I will get? Summation of nu I into epsilon. So, this is n equal to n0 plus nu into epsilon, right. N0 is the total initial number of moles, total initial number of moles, right. So, Yi, what is Yi? Yi is mole fraction of ith species at epsilon. So, this will be Ni by Ni naught, and that is equal to, sorry, Ni by n, this n. So, this is equal to Ni naught plus nu I into epsilon divided by n naught plus nu into epsilon, where nu is the sum of all the stoichiometric coefficients. For example, you see that if I have the same reaction CH4 plus H2O giving CO plus 3H2, and if I write this Ni naught, CH4 it's a 2, H2 it's 1, CO is 1, and this and H2 is 4. Yeah, H2 is 4. Yeah. And we have N naught equal to 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 4, that is 8, right? And nu, which is summation of nu I. So, it's already we have written it. So, here you see it's 1 plus 3 minus 1 minus 1. So, 4 minus 2, so that's equal to 2. So, if I want to write y of CH4, it will be equal to 2, then this Ni into epsilon, and Ni for CH4 is minus 1. So, Ni into epsilon divided by this N naught, right, 8 plus nu into epsilon, and nu is 2, so 2 epsilon. So, this becomes the expression for mole fraction of methane participating in the reaction. Similarly, for hydrogen YH2, so it is Ni naught, that's 4, then nu I into epsilon, nu for hydrogen is 3 plus 3 into epsilon divided by this N naught, which is 8, the denominator remains same. So, in this way we can express the mole fraction of different participating species in a reacting system in terms of the respective reaction coordinate. So, once we are done with the representation style, next we have to go for thermodynamics. Right. So, in thermodynamics, first we have to understand that how the Gibbs energy of a reacting system changes with time, or more precisely with epsilon, because epsilon increases as the reaction proceeds, okay, and attains a saturation value or an equilibrium value. So, Gibbs energy of a system at constant temperature and pressure, because Gibbs energy is a function of what? Gibbs energy is a function of temperature, pressure, and this number of moles. So, if I only have to decipher out the effect of reaction keeping the temperature and pressure constant, apparently it seems to be absurd that we all know that all reactions are associated with thermal effect, and additionally if we conduct the reaction at constant volume, specifically if it is a gaseous system, the pressure increases, okay, or may decrease, that depends on the stoichiometry. So, the point is, if we think hypothetically that it is a pure reaction, just like pure mixing, only the effect of the reactions we are trying to fetch out, then we have to keep the temperature and pressure hypothetically of this reacting system constant. That means we will allow the system to react for certain or to some extent, and again we will bring back the temperature and pressure to the same initial level, and we will try to understand that what is the change of Gibbs energy, right. So, that is basically the measurement GT at constant temperature and pressure, okay. So, for any system or any process rather, Gibbs energy always decreases if the process is spontaneous, right. So, for all spontaneous process like mixing or reaction, the Gibbs energy, total Gibbs energy must decrease. So, here as we want to focus on the Gibbs energy's change with reaction only, keeping the temperature and pressure constant. So, it is G total T comma P, and here we are plotting epsilon. Right. Now, we started say with a very low value of epsilon for the forward reaction, and it will attain some minima and will stay there. Right. So, it is the progress is in this direction. Now, if it is a reversible reaction, we are starting actually for a very large epsilon, and it also comes to the same point, right, attaining a minima. So, this we refer as equilibrium value of reaction coordinate, right, equilibrium value of reaction coordinate, and that is the point of reaction equilibrium. Okay, that is the point of reaction equilibrium, and we from the thermodynamic perspective is interested here only. We are not interested that how the state is reached, how fast the state is reached, or something like that. Okay, so at equilibrium we have minima of Gt T comma P. So, d of Gt T comma P d epsilon, or rather, this is d is equal to 0, which is the necessary condition for minima, and definitely we are not actually going to explore the sufficient condition. Sufficient condition, as you know from minima, the second derivative with respect to epsilon of GTTP will be positive. So, that is the condition for reaction equilibrium. Okay, it is attaining a minimum. Now, we know that Gt or d of Gt, that is d of Ng, it is equal to Nv dP minus Ns dt plus summation of mu I dni. Because though it is not an open system, but the number of moles are changing with time. Okay. So, d of Gt at T and P, that is equal to summation of mu I dni, and we also can write that I equal to 1 to n, or a capital N maybe. Here I equal to 1 to capital N mu I, and dni is nu I into d epsilon. So, d of Gt T comma P d epsilon, that is equal to 0 means mu I into nu I equal to 0, I equal to 1 to n, and that is the condition of chemical equilibrium. Okay, that is the condition of chemical equilibrium. So, you see that next, to go for further understanding, this equation, we have to work with that equation further, and we know that for a multi-component system, d mu I equal to dgi bar equal to RT dln Fi cap at constant temperature. So, if I integrate, I will get mu I is equal to, there will be a constant dependent on temperature plus RT ln Fi cap, and this constant is non-zero. It is not a residual property or excess property. So, this constant will exist, right, and we have to get rid of that constant. So, you see what we can do, and this is dependent on temperature and also on the species, but not the fact that whether what state it is exactly. Okay. So, you see, if I write the respective standard state property, standard state Gibbs energy of a pure species. So, there will be the same constant, but here it will be Fi 0, right, the standard state relation. Now, if I subtract these two, the constant will be eliminated. So, if I subtract, Subtracting, we get, what you are getting? Mu I minus Gi naught equal to RT ln Fi cap by Fi naught, and by definition this is activity. So we have mu I equal to Gi naught plus RT ln Ai cap. Now see, we will substitute this equation, this expression of chemical potential here. Combining the equation, let us say this is equation 1, or rather, this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. Right, combining equations 1 and 2, we have what? That nu I Gi naught plus RT ln Ai cap equal to 0, I equal to 1 to n, and this is summation nu I Gi naught plus RT summation nu I ln Ai cap equal to 0, I equal to 1 to n, and I equal to 1 to n. So this is the change of the standard Gibbs energy, right? Because the term in the summation, the term should be positive for product and negative for the reactant. So we can write it delta G naught. It is the standard Gibbs energy change of the system. Then plus, by using the property of log, we can write it ln of Ai cap to the power nu I, and that is equal to 0. Now see, summation of log, we can write it in a product form of its operating parameter or operating variable. That is what I am trying to say, it is RT ln successive product I equal to 1 to n Ai cap to the power nu I, right? That is equal to 0. So what we will get here? We will have this group of activity ratio, because I will show you this is equal to exponential of minus del G naught by RT, right? Now what this parameter actually means, like for the previous reaction CH4 plus this H2O giving CO plus 3H2, what will be this term? This will be ACO AH2O or H2 to the power 3 divided by ACH4 and AH2O. This is H2, right? So that is equal to this term. Why? Because nu I is positive for product and the negative for reactant. So it is a kind of product's activity raised to the power the stoichiometric coefficient's magnitude divided by the reactor's activity in the product form raised to the power the stoichiometric coefficient's magnitude. So this is nothing but the equilibrium constant of that reaction. Now what we note that this is exponential of minus del G naught by RT. So you see the standard state properties we have discussed previously, the standard state properties are functions of temperature. So the change of standard state Gibbs energy must be a function of temperature, and here we have T. So equilibrium constant of a reaction is only a function of temperature. Equilibrium constant, remember this, that equilibrium constant of a reaction, we have established that is only a function of temperature, though it is expressed from the first principle as this product of, it's a product of this this product stoichiometry, product activity raised to the first stoichiometric coefficient divided by the reactors or reactants activity raised to the first stoichiometric coefficient, but this analysis shows that K is a function of temperature only, right. So, our first outcome of this analysis is that minus RT ln K is equal to del G naught, or K which is defined as I equal to 1 to n ai cap to the power nu I is exponential of minus del G naught by RT. Done? So, from here let us check that what is the exact temperature dependence, if it is being asked, that how K changes with temperature, that we all know basically, which is conventionally or in standard known as Van 't Hoff isochord, but we are going to formally prove it. See, d dt of Gi naught by RT equal to minus of Hi naught by RT square, that we know, okay, because this G by RT equal to this V by RT dP into minus H by RT square dt. Now, once it is a standard state property, pressure is specified. So, it is only function of temperature and it is a total derivative. So, now if I multiply nu I on both sides, and take a sum over I, what you will get? This multiplied here, the sum d dt of del G naught, right. d dt of del G naught, and del G naught is equal to minus of RT ln K. So, this is minus of RT d ln K dt G by RT, sorry, this is del G by RT. So, it is simply, is not G, this is del G by RT, this is minus of d ln K dt, and that is equal to minus of del H naught by RT square, and this is the standard heat of reaction by definition, right. So, d ln K dt equal to del H naught by RT square. Now, for a tentative approximate analysis, if I consider this del H naught to be constant, right. So, we have ln of K2 by K1 equal to del H naught by R into 1 by T1 minus 1 by T2. So, which is del H naught by R T2 minus T1 divided by T1 T2, that is ln K2 by K1. Now, you see we have increased the temperature and we will see that how this equilibrium constant changes. So, if T2 is greater than T1, K2 will be greater than K1 if delta H naught is positive, that is endothermic reaction. And if K2 is less than K1 if delta H naught is negative, exothermic reaction. So, for exothermic reaction, which are the most of the reactions where heat is being liberated, the increase of temperature results in reduction of equilibrium constant. That means, according to this Le Chatelier type statement, the equilibrium will shift towards left. right, the product yield will be compromised. Okay. The reactants, most of the reactants or a major part of the reactants will remain unconverted. So, functionality of K with respect to temperature has been justified and analyzed, and we have documented it. So, next, based on this idea, next if I try to think that okay, we have a gas phase reaction, then how to solve for this equilibrium concentration of the products. Okay. So, our analysis will be next gas phase reaction. That is, all products and reactants exist in gas phase. Right. So, here you see that we have K equal to, we have K equal to AI cap to the power nu I, and this AI cap is Fi cap by Fi naught to the power nu I, correct. So, that is K. K can be solved once the temperature is given. Now, Fi cap is equal to Yi into phi I cap into P for vapor phase, for gas phase, right, and Fi naught for gas phase, what is the standard state? For gas phase, the standard state is ideal gas state, because standard state properties are pure species property at the fixed temperature, pressure 1 bar, and here it will be ideal gas state. Now, for ideal gas, the fugacity is same as pressure, so Fi naught is equal to same as P naught. So, we have K is equal to 1 to n Yi phi I cap into P by P naught to the power nu I. Now, in the successive product, this P by P naught term to the power nu I, the exponent will be added, leaving this Yi into phi I cap separate. So, we can write it, it is a successive product I equal to 1 to n Yi into phi I cap to the power nu I dot P into by P naught to the power nu, where nu is the sum of nu I. So, you see that if I shift this quantity or this ratio to the left hand side, with P by P naught to the power minus nu is I equal to 1 to n Yi into phi I cap to the power nu I. So, that is the final equation. After that, we have to apply a specific model to determine this phi I cap. So, again here from this equation we can justify one of this Le Chatelier statement, like if nu positive, we increase P, nu is positive, right, nu is summation of nu I, that is positive, and we are increasing P. So, the left hand side decreases. So, K into P by P naught to the power minus nu decreases, and equilibrium shifts to left. Product yield is compromised. Why? Because Yi into phi I cap to the power nu I actually decreases. So, that can be justified. You may say that what sort of functionality we are considering for phi I cap, but even we drop it. Say we drop phi I cap considering the vapor phase to be ideal, right. So, there we can simply justify that in this ratio, the Y for this product will be in the numerator, Y for the reactant will be the denominator, and that entire term decreases, means Y for the product, the mole fraction of the product decreases, and the product yield we can say it is being compromised. Okay. And second, if nu is negative, with the increase of p, this k into p by p naught to the power minus nu, that also increases and equilibrium shifts to the right. That means the product yield increases. So that's about the gas phase reaction. Liquid phase is pretty simple. Liquid phase reaction. K, it's equal to ai cap to the power nu I is equal to fi cap by fi naught to the power nu I, and we know this fi cap is equal to gamma I xi fi naught for liquid systems. So K is I equal to 1 to n gamma I into xi to the power nu I, right? If liquid phase is ideal, that is gamma I equal to 1, this reduces to the well known law of mass action, what we have studied in our school days. Right? So that's about the reaction engineering, or sorry, reaction equilibrium. So you see one of the problem, like, let me solve one of the problem for you. We'll have a different problem solving session maybe in the next day, after we complete the only remaining topic, that is the PVT behavior of species. So what is the problem? C2H4 gas phase plus H2O gas phase, right, vapor phase hydration of C2H4 to ethanol, C2H5OH, that's also gas. So it's a gas phase reaction. Okay. Attains equilibrium at 400 Kelvin and 3 bar pressure. The standard Gibbs energy change of the reaction at this condition, that is del G naught, is at this condition, so 4000 joule per mole. For 2 moles of equimolar feed of ethylene and steam, so 2 moles of equimolar feed, NC2H4 0 is 1 and NH2O 0 is also 1. Right. Now what are the mole fractions in terms of reaction coordinate? We know that Yi is equal to Ni0 plus nu I into epsilon divided by N0 plus nu into epsilon. Right. So Y C2H4 Ni0, that is 1 nu I minus 1 into epsilon, and N0 is 2 and nu is 1 minus 1 minus 1, right? 1, this is 1 minus 1, so it is minus 1, right? Okay. Y H2O is 1 minus epsilon divided by 2 minus epsilon, fine. And Y C2H5OH, there was initially nothing, and that's epsilon divided by 2 minus epsilon. Okay. So the equilibrium constant, what we have got finally, K into P by P naught to the power minus nu is ai cap, sorry, yi into phi I cap to the power nu I. So, definitely we consider ideal gas. Okay. So, k we have to solve as exponential of minus of del G naught by RT, temperature is given. So, from there we can solve. Now, nu is again minus 1. So, P by P naught, P is 3, right. So, 3 divided by 1 to the power minus 1. So, it is plus 1. So, it is 3. That is equal to yi to the power nu I. So, this is in the numerator 2 divided by epsilon by 1 minus epsilon, and denominator is 1 minus epsilon square divided by 2 minus epsilon square. So, it is resulting in this epsilon into 2 minus epsilon, epsilon into 2 minus epsilon divided by 1 minus epsilon square. So, it is asked that you have to generate this expression. So, from there you can actually get this epsilon into 2 minus epsilon divided by 1 minus epsilon square. So, you solve it, multiply it by 3, and from there get the correct expression. This is a 2007 2 marks question, right. So, that is all about this reaction equilibrium. So, in the next session we will discuss this PVT behavior of pure and mixture, pure species and mixture, and thereafter we will solve a variety of thermodynamic problems what are there in these previous GATE questions. Thank you.